So Sunday from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, it's a 3:05 schedule time Eastern for kickoff between the hometown Saints, the top seed in the NFC, and the Los Angeles Rams, the second seed. Both teams, they had the same record in the regular season, 13-3. Different roads taken, though, to punch their tickets to the NFC title game in the divisional round last weekend. Let's talk about it. Cowboys squared off against the Rams in the City of Angels. Rams in command throughout this one from start to finish pretty much. They dominated, and they win 30-22 thanks to Jared Goff. Yeah, Todd Gurley, he did his part. But how about C.J. Anderson? Yes, that's C.J. Anderson. He's now been a Ram 3 games, brought in to fill in for the injured Todd Gurley in weeks 15 and 16. Last week, a $123, 2 touchdowns overall, 403 yards in those 3 games. So suddenly, Todd Gurley, as cool as Maverick with Goose, he's got a wingman. That is dangerous, especially this time of the year. Down the home stretch. Gurley, you missed, I said, 2 games late in the year, still finished with great numbers, 1,251 yards rushing, 17 touchdowns. Last week, a rushing score, 117 yards. So watch out for that duo come Sunday. Now, Goff had another great year, the young gun for the Rams, 32 touchdown passes, 12 interceptions. Similar numbers for Drew Brees, the old reliable one, headed to Canton for certain one day. He'll be wearing that mustard, or is it more like a yellow gold jacket? He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. No doubt about that. Passes Peyton Manning earlier in the year on a Monday Nighter for the all-time completions mark in the NFL. 32 touchdowns for him against 5 interceptions. Now, he had 4 of those touchdown passes when these two teams last played. The all-time mark, I'll tell you and get into that game back in week 9. Rams and Saints have squared off 74 times. Rams lead the series with 41 wins. They played only 1 time in the postseason when this guy, Aaron Brooks, was a star back. Aaron Brooks was a good ball player, great arm. In the 2000 wild card game, outplayed future Hall of Famer Kurt Warner then with 4 touchdown passes. So since then, they've played and gone 6-6 against each other, including week 9, when Brees was terrific, including this touchdown pass, one of those 4 to Michael Thomas it went 72 yards. How good is Thomas? Well, he's great. We know that. Led the NFL in receptions with 125, but I love the celebration, paying tribute to Joe Horn. Also, his 1,405 yards, 6th in the league, to go along with 9 touchdown receptions. So in that game, it was all Saints 45-35. Talk about an all-pro, all-everything player. That's what the Rams got in their defensive tackle, Aaron Donald. What a great football player. Rams ranked 19th defensively in the league. Saints, by the way, were 14. The leader in sacks, Donald, 20.5. After that 10-point loss in week 9 in the visiting Saints or Rams' locker room at the Superdome, he talked about a premonition he had that these two teams may tangle sometime soon once again.
We'll see him again, so we're just going to keep working.
Great sweatshirt. Reminds me of Rocky Balboa's Adidas sweater back in Rocky 3. Go check it out. Have yourself a blockbuster night. Well, they don't have those anymore, do they? Meanwhile, moving on to Sunday's game and the wide receivers on the other end of things for the Rams. Watch out. I told you about Thomas for the Saints. Watch out for Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks. Fabulous dynamic duo. I wouldn't say they fly under the radar. I mean, they get the hype they deserve, but they are both spectacular home run hitters. They each had over 80 receptions and 1,250 yards plus. They combined for 11 touchdowns. Now, if you think that's a dynamic duo, how about the Saints' running backs? Don't forget them. Told you about the Rams pair. This kid Kamara is about as hard a running back as you'll see in the NFL. Plays every play like it's his last. What a great running back. No doubt about that. When you combine them with Mark Ingram, another bruiser, each of them, they combined together for over 1,500 yards, 20 touchdowns. So they've got a terrific established 1-2 punch there for the Saints. So you've got some history between these two teams. I gave you the rankings, talked about some of the stars. What's left to do? Well, a couple things. I'm going to get to my final score in a moment. But first, I want to show or share with you and have you take a look-see and listen to the all-important question of the week asked by the New Orleans media to head coach Sean Payton.
Do you like gumbo?
Personally, I'm a jambalaya guy. Anyway, let's get to the final score. So Sunday, here's how I'm seeing it from the Superdome. Who Dat Nation, you love me, and I love you back. Because I think the Saints march their way towards Super Bowl 53 2 weeks from Sunday at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Look at that joint. Looks unreal. And it's going to be on display for the whole entire world to see February 3rd. That is like a 6:30 kickoff, Super Bowl 53. The NFC's best against the AFC's best. And by the way, I have a preview of the Chiefs and New England Patriots, which should be epic Sunday, getting loaded up here on my YouTube channel. I thank you for tuning into my previews throughout the football season. If you haven't done so yet, I ask you pretty please go ahead and subscribe. Enjoy the football Sunday from the Superdome. It should be a good one between those Saints and the Rams.